Alright, hello everyone, it's Team Rocket Dross here with another Pokemon drawing tutorial. So I asked you guys, I randomly generated 3 Pokemon, which was Sudowoodo, Wolverine, and Dewpider. And out of 18 votes, guys, you guys ended up choosing Dewpider by 56%. So yeah, as you guys can see on screen, this is how he ends up looking like. So if you guys want to learn how to draw him, then let's get started. I'm also going to put up a reference right now on screen. That way it's easier for you guys to draw, and at the same time you guys can get all your details. And remember guys, like always, we're going to start off by doing a sketch, and then from there on you guys are going to do your final drawing. So remember to do your line slide, because we are going to do a lot of erasing. So first of all, we're going to start by doing a circle, and then we're going to add these 2 lines going down the middle both ways. And then we're going to do this other circle, which is going to be the actual bubble, guys. And right here I point out pretty soon that the height of the other circle is basically half of the first circle that we did. So it's kind of like a little thing to do, and then you guys could just round it off. And remember guys, that your drawing's not going to be exactly the same as mine, so just make your drawing work with your drawing. As long as your drawing looks good, then everything's all right. So then after we have that, we're going to do the body shape right there, and then also add this lower line just so we can know where the bottom is. So once we have these shapes, guys, I recommend that you guys pause the video and try to have these shapes right here as close as you can to the way that I have it, because everything's going to go from now on. Alright, so once we have that, we're going to add the eye, one of the eyes. And then around here, guys, I realized that the arm, one of his arms is sticking out around there. And then we're going to do this other shape. It's kind of like a, I forgot what that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a hexagon. I think that's a hexagon shape. But the thing is that we don't do the top. Now for the other eye, just make sure that the other eye, I do a line right there, reference line, just so you guys can see. Just try to make the eyes on the same level. And this eye actually sticks out a little bit outside of his head. And now we could do the little eyes. And then I do work on the right eye a little bit, guys, because I realized that I made it a little bit smaller than the one on the left. So I do change that later on. Now for the actual mouth, it's kind of like a rectangle shape going sideways. And then the inside of his mouth is basically the same shape. I erased it just to make it a little bit more clear for you guys. There we go. So just by having the eyes starting to look a lot clearer. Alright, so this is one of those areas that I did have a lot of trouble. You guys are going to see me erasing these areas a little bit more, which is going to be his little bumps on his head. So I started up by doing the one on the right, just because I knew where it had to be. And like always guys, the reference up there, but doesn't mean that your drawing has to be just like the reference. For example, mine, I do end up changing it later on just because I wasn't happy with it. You guys could just even the mouth, it doesn't have to be in the exact same areas as the reference. As long as it looks good and it makes sense on your drawing, then go ahead and make any changes. Alright, so right there I just finished by doing the arm, and once we have that, guys, we could erase some of these reference lines and get them all out of the way. Alright, so now right here for the actual shape of his other arm that's sticking out on the other side. And one thing that I point out right now is that all his arms, just try to make all of them the same thickness, guys, like as well as the legs. They should be roughly the same thickness. So that's one of those things that you guys might want to pay attention to as you guys are doing everything. Now for this one over here, this is where I point out they should be roughly the same thickness. And the reason that it doesn't make sense for this arm, that it doesn't connect right, is because of the bubble, guys. Since it's round, it kind of like disturbs the line a little bit, so it doesn't like literally connect to each other. So that's kind of like one of those weird things, but that's the whole reason for it. Now we could do the bottom of Dewpider, and now we could work on one of his legs as well as the other one. Right here, in order to make it a little bit more simple, I kind of made like a rectangle shape just so you guys can get a better idea. And then right there, I just do the leg, and once again just try to make it roughly the same thickness as the other ones, the other legs and the other arms. I think they're all legs, right? And then this one I do it a little bit different just because I continue the whole shape the same, and then I just add the little like bumps right there. It's kind of like a square shape almost. Now the other one over here, this one doesn't go all the way down just because it is his hind leg. And then we can see the little bumps behind him a little bit. And now for the little triangle shapes that he has. and we're basically done, guys. So I really recommend that you guys pause the video as you're going at your own pace, and then just pay attention to the reference, because that's basically what we're trying to copy. But like I mentioned before, just remember that it doesn't have to be the same as mine. It doesn't have to be the same as the reference. Make any changes to your drawing to make it work, and as long as it looks okay, then go for it. So right here, once I have my final sketch, guys, I go back and I make some of the changes that I see. For example, the leg, I fixed it up a little bit, and this is the time where I make those changes. So you guys should as well. So now that you have your sketch, any little thing that doesn't look right, it's gonna be really noticeable right now. For example, for me, was the little bumps on the top of his head. They just don't look right. They don't look centered. They just look really off. So I do go back actually later and I do change them, but I don't know if I do that on video, guys. Just nope, I don't do that on video. So I do go back and I change it and I make it a little bit better, guys, because right there, if you guys notice, the horn or the little bump on the left side is actually a little bit higher than the one on the right, and this should be a little bit on the even side. And I might mind really like pointing at the top, and it should be a little bit more rounded. So I did go back and I did change that. It's just that I end up coloring. I recorded myself coloring Dewpider, guys, but I made a big mistake. I just didn't like how it ended up turning out, so I'm not even gonna show you guys. So what we have here is actually the sketch. So it's kind of like the rough sketch. Like I mentioned before, I do go back and I do make a lot of the changes, but the thing is that I didn't take a picture of my final drawing, and unfortunately, yeah, I don't have it no more because I didn't like how it ended up looking like colored. But I do go back, guys. I do change the eyes a little bit, the actual shape of the eyes. Like I mentioned before, I changed the little bumps so they make sense. I worked on the bubble a little bit, the legs, made everything look a little bit more better, the arms, and that's basically the main thing to do at the end, guys. That's why we call it a sketch, just because it's just a general idea, and then from there on we make all those changes necessary to make it our final drawing. So that's why I always recommend you guys to not press on your pencils that hard. That way when you guys make those changes, those lines that were there before are not that visible. Although the thing is that it kind of is, you know what I mean. But you guys could always trace your drawing or just do an outline with a Sharpie or a pen or something, and yeah, it should be a little bit more better, and those extra lines are not going to be that noticeable. But like I did mention, guys, I did end up like finishing my final outline, but I recorded it, I colored it, and it just looked horrible. So I'm not even gonna show you guys, so I apologize for that, guys. This is probably the first time where I showed you guys only the final sketch and not the final outline, the final drawing with all the changes necessary. But that's what we have on the top left corner. That's what we have, that reference right there, just so you guys could use that as a reference. But just remember, guys, to pay attention. If you guys are subscribed, I'm gonna be posting up those links again, or not those links, but I guess they're called stories, where I'll be asking 3 randomly generated Pokemon, and you guys could vote on which one. So I already did the second one. I already asked, and yeah, that should be coming up soon. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, guys, and subscribe for more videos, and I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next one. Team Rocket Draws out.